What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn with Flip with Rick. And I apologize to you guys earlier. We had some technical difficulties with the internet. So I actually wound up switching locations. And so we shouldn't have any issues here because I've already tested it out. So guys, do me a favor while you're joining in. This whole video, this whole live is going to be about probates. So in the video, I'm going to talk about what are probates, what's the process of probates, and how you can utilize probates in your real estate investing career, just like I have, and find the absolute best deals available. So what I'll do is take the first 10 or 15 minutes and let people come on and explain how the process works. And then I'll take the last 40, 45 minutes just to answer your questions. If you have a question, go ahead and post it in the comments. Just go ahead and post it in the comments below. And as I see the questions roll up after I go over the probate process, I'm happy to answer them. And remember, there is the worst question is the question you don't ask. So everyone's going to have questions. So go ahead and do that. And guys, listen, before we get started, do me a favor. Go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. Guys, share this with someone that you think would benefit from it. Today, we are talking about probate. So I'm going to check the comments to make sure everybody can hear me this time. So if somebody can kind of post in there, I hear you okay, Rick, you're coming across. That's great. And awesome. So let me jump into it. What is probate? Probate is simply the legal process that is entered into when a person passes away. And what it does is the courts take inventory of the deceased's assets and liabilities. And then the idea is that they disperse them according to their will. And if there's no will, it's up to the court to get a petitioner, usually a family member, to decide how to disperse the assets correctly. That's kind of the layman's terms. Does every property have to go through probate? Actually, no, and we'll go into that in a little bit in detail. So, so the process is actually really simple. The other purpose really with probates is you got to understand a person who, awesome, you guys can hear me. I appreciate it. Is you can't execute a deed for a person that is no longer alive. So the probate serves the purpose of entering into a court order so somebody can legally and lawfully transfer the title to that property. So without probate, it would be hard to buy some properties when people pass away. So I got a little wobble there, so I'll fix that. So probate happens in all 58 states. The funny thing is, I would like to tell you every county is the same. So there's over 3,500 counties in the United States. And I'm going to tell you, I service basically 5 counties mostly. And all 5 counties they're similar, but very different how they operate. 3 out of the 5 is I can get the probates online. And the other 2, I actually have to send somebody over to the courthouse to pick up. I know that sounds crazy. It's nuts. But you think it would be all the same in the state, and it's not. So that's one of the advantages of how the probates work. So that being said, you will have to become a student of probates in your area. So the next step really comes down to is, Rick, how do I get probates? Guys, do not complicate this. It's very simple. I did not start doing probates till around 2013, 14. And guys, if anybody who's followed me, I've been doing this since 2003. It was probably my biggest regret of real estate investing is not starting it earlier. So it is a court entered piece of data. So just like you have a foreclosure, just like you would have an eviction, just like you would have a divorce, it is a court appointed lead. So that's kind of it on really like probates. It's simple yet complicated, and I find people make it so challenging with probates. So my history of probates back in 2013, I was sitting down and doing my books with my accountant, and he pointed out 3 or 4 deals I did that year. And he says, you need to do more deals just like this, Rick. I was just like, so I kind of reverse engineered it. I go, all of them were probates. He goes, man, they just make a ton of money and they were easy. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. And so I looked into a lot of courses and there was nothing that really taught me how to do it. So here's what I did, guys. I went down to the courthouse. I probably spent about an hour and a half and I spoke to the clerk of court and they actually walked me through that process for that county. And what I did was I got, I just put in the time and I learned it. Now, every county was very different in like how they gave me information, but I killed people with kindness and I asked how I could get the information. And then what I did from there is I took the information to a title company. I took the docket for everybody that was on the probate list. And then I also met with an attorney as well too. And after a while, they showed me the key pieces of information to pull off that docket. And actually in Florida, it's a little bit challenging because they don't share phone numbers here and you have to cross-reference the address. So we'll go with that in part of the process. So once I had a list and I knew how to pull it, what's the next step? It was simple. It was find a way to market to them. So what I like to do is send a full letter. Postcards they just don't seem to connect on probates. And I've been doing this for a while and I get much better return on a physical letter. And don't complicate it. Once we have the list, we print the letters. We've shared that actual copy with you. You guys know a long time ago, I sold a probate course. It's still out there. I don't even sell it anymore, but it goes through contracts I have with other people, but it's actually dynamite. And we already have the letter done for you. I think we provide it for free right here on all the tools here at Flip with Rick, and you can get it available to you. And I just sent out a letter with a phone number and the phone calls come in. And I'd like to tell you get hundreds of phone calls. You don't. So in my county, the average amount of probates in a month were between 40 and 60. And that was a busy county with about a population of 100,000. And from that, I would get 2 to 5 phone calls a month. And a lot of them were from like months past. And I sent out the letter and it's either like they either chewed me out or they said, tell me a little bit more about what you do. And all I did was enter into really good conversations with them. And what I found with the key with probates is just having a simple conversation. Don't be this massive closer. Just be yourself and listen to them and hear their story and understand they're going through a difficult time and just let them know that you're trying to focus on assisting them if they want to sell the property quickly. And that's it. And here's the key with these probates is most people are at the end of their life cycle and they're not really taking care of the house. I wouldn't do it either because you got to focus on their health. So the house gets dilapidated. The roof has issues. The house definitely not updated. And most of the time when you're contracting these properties, guys, they're vacant. And the vacant is a really key piece when you're doing wholesaling because they're great deals. And what I really liked about it, it is a little bit of a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie to you, but the more of a pain it is, the more opportunity it is. And here's the key. It doesn't cost a ton of money. So on average, if you're going to send out, say 50 letters and figure you do $1 a letter, that's $50. So maybe you're going to spend $50 to $75 a month. Here's the secret to it. Okay. Here's the big secret that everybody overlooks on it. Everybody gets excited about doing probates and they do it for like 30 days and they go, hey, Rick or Zach, it doesn't work. No, it works. It's just not a one-hit wonder. The key is if you consistently do it month after month. Here's a little key. I sometimes go 2 months and my phone doesn't even ring. But you know what? Eventually my phone rings. I get a deal. My average deal back in 2014, 15 was $36,000 a deal. I can probably tell you I've doubled that now. And who cares? So you guys are spending all this other money on like texting and RVMs and voicemails and cold calling, which we do too. But probate's so often over, it's such a simple strategy. And by the way, you can cold call on probates. Zach teaches a method, it's called warm calling. And we just connect with them and we talk with them. And it only takes one deal. So if you spend, say, 50, 60 bucks a month, it's only what, $500, $600, $700 for the year. The key is you have to do it every month. If you're going to do it 1 month and quit, you're what 95% of all the other people do. And if you want to be an entrepreneur in this business, you're going to have to muscle through that. You have to be persistent. So the key with probates is 100% consistency. Even if you don't get a phone call, keep doing it. Make sure you're getting the right data and send out the offers, and it will happen. So guys, we are definitely going to talk about the pre-probate because this is something brand new, and I'm actually really excited about it. I've been doing this market 18 years, and it is, I don't like the word game changer, but it's definitely a huge advantage. And if I'm using it, you should seriously consider it. So I never had this tool before. So I've seen a lot of pre-probate stuff offered out there before, and it would be someone just like digging through the obituaries, and that's not the best way. So I will tell you what. So I'm going to go over this real quick, and then I'm going to take all the questions. Let's see here. So if you guys want to learn more about the pre-probates, go to listrei.com. Everything's in there. I got to tell you, it's the service we use through PropStream. It's probably, to me, the greatest service they've offered into it. So if you guys know, if you use PropStream, if you sign up through listrei.com, you get a 7 free-day trial version. You can run all your comps. You can pull 10,000 leads a month, high equity, vacants, you name it. It is literally the best tool we use in our company because like it's an all-in-one. Yeah, I mean, you can use it someone as your CRM, and it's already there. So if you guys already have it, they just came out with a pre-probate option, and we're working as it right now, and we are getting action off of it. So here's what it is. Somehow they're aggregating the data for people that I assume that, so don't take my word for it because I'm not the data company, is they're getting death certificate records, and they're cross-referencing that to property they own. Guys, that right there costs you $500 to $700 a month to have someone do it for you. I guess you can do it cheaper than the VA, but they're not very good at it. And then you're marketing to it. The key with pre-probate, so you've got to understand, is not every property goes through probate. Let me repeat this to you. Not every property goes through probate. So if you go on there, they give you a little education on it. A pre-probate just showing someone who's died who has a piece of property. And one of the secrets that I've always taught is not every property goes through probate. You can go through what they call a summary administration, where is if that's the only asset and it's below a threshold, you can actually bypass the probate process. So with that being said, we are going to jump in, guys. Check out listrei.com. And if you're already using it, it's part of your service, so go ahead and do it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go on there. I'm telling you, 97 bucks is an absolute steal. So let's go ahead and get started. All you got to do is post your comments and questions. I'm going to go through the feed, and I take them in order, and we're going to go 45 minutes here, and I'm going to help out as many people as humanly possible. So you guys know I love probates. They are the most profitable deals. I wish every deal I did was a probate, but they're not. So let's go ahead and get started here. So, okay. So let me go back. I'm not as fast as Zach. So those of you guys are asking, I'm Rick, Rick Ginn, AKA Dad. Zach's my son. I taught him the business at the right old age at 17 while he was in high school, and he made 6 figures within his first 90 days. So age isn't a requirement. Education's not a requirement. And I've been doing this 18 years, and I've never run out of deals. And even with everything going on the market right now, we're still doing deals. So don't let anybody scare you away. The more chaotic stuff is, the more opportunity there is. So, so Bill asked, how do you know I have a relation? I would like to know how to have a relationship with a probate attorney. So it's no different than anything else. Is a lot of attorneys are tied to title companies. Those are the ones I like to approach first. But remember, attorneys charge a lot of money per hour. So I always try to find one that's tied to a title company, or just try to set up either a lunch. To be honest with you, most of them don't want to do lunch, or a quick 5-10 minute meeting, because everyone's time is valuable, including yours. And just say, listen, how can I talk to you about attorneys? Honestly, sometimes I even paid them $100 to sit down and consult with you. One of the best ways to do it, if you guys are looking for a hack, is if you actually have a probate case you're working on it, then the attorney will meet with you for free. So the main thing is go out and get a deal, and you can talk to an attorney. And the key with the attorney is let them do the legal work. I don't do any of the legal work. I just do the marketing, and then I let the attorneys on my team help me answer all the questions. And here's the key is a lot of title companies will answer most of the probate questions, especially when it comes to title and transacting on the deed though. But good question. So thanks, Bill. All right, everybody can hear me? Good. Sorry about the earlier mess up there. So, okay, so here's a good question on it. Yes. How about pre-probates? What's the difference? As I said, pre-probate, if you go to listrei.com, is just a service of data. And somehow they parse this data. I am not a data expert. I just know how to pull the information. Is they're pulling people with death certificates and matching them up and cross-referencing to properties they own. And what that does is that just gives you a wider net, because a lot of us are looking at the probate records at the courthouse, and don't get me wrong, still do that. But this is a catch-all net. It doesn't mean every one of them is going to be accurate, but there's a lot of properties that don't actually go through probate. So the only way to catch them in the past is you had to comb the obituaries. Now it's a little bit morbid, and you could actually pay for services on this. But with listrei.com through PropStream, they actually do it for you. So if you already have an account with them, this is basically a free service for you. Absolutely utilize it. You can warm call them, which is just a fancy way of cold calling people and just being nice about it. And that's the difference. Understanding that any type of summary administration, you're saying, Rick, what's a summary administration? It's simply the process where, so like in the state of Florida, and I can't speak for every state, most states have some sort of like homestead property. So if your property is homesteaded, meaning you live in it for X amount of years, I think in the state of Florida, you got to live there at least 1 year, and you reside there as your full-time residency, you get certain protections with the state. So when, say, a husband-wife, if the husband were to pass away, the wife can apply for what they call a homestead exemption. And what that does is the legal process of having them actually exiting the process and having them keep that house with really no tax implications and other just changing the deed and taking their deceased husband off of it. And the advantage of it is it doesn't really cost a lot of money to do. And so in Florida, it's anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000 to do it. And it usually winds up, so if you can do a summary administration, the most time it ever takes is 90 days, but a lot of times we get them done in 45 days. So we love them. Also, guys, if the property's in a trust, they will bypass a probate process. If they're on that pre-probate list, you're golden, because now you find them. And guess what? Nobody else is marketing it to that person. So if it's set up in some sort of trust, a revocable trust, irrevocable trust, it doesn't have to go through probate. So that would be the advantage of using the pre-probate process. The problem before is everybody had to do this manually. And unless you comb the obituaries daily, which is a lot of work, they're taking factual death records and cross-referencing it. So I don't know exactly how they do it, but I know it works. So I would fully take advantage of it. So good question. Awesome. Ariel says, I like your office. So actually, me and Zach will be sharing as we go along, but we kind of have a new setup, so it's a little bit empty here. So we're in the process of transferring it, but we'll share more details with you. So follow us on the Flip with Rick. If you guys, you can find us on Facebook. Also on our Facebook group, Wholesaling Houses for Real. And you guys know we interact every day and we have a lot of fun there. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. A lot of pre-probate questions. So mine asks, what would you recommend for a pre-probate list? Go to listrei.com. the thing's already done for you. It's the best one I can find out there. If you want to do it manually, you can pull the obituaries, but it's a lot of work. Do you think cold calling would work for the list? Yes, but the key is make sure you check out on our Flip with Rick group, Wholesaling Houses for Real, and just search on their cold calling script. Zach has a great script, and the key with probates is just be authentic. Don't be, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm not gonna use any words that I'm not supposed to. Just be yourself. Like, understand somebody passed away. So I just focus on the property. And when they go to tell you the stuff that's going on or they dump on you, be prepared for it. I find in a probate, if you can get through the first 30 seconds to a minute of the phone call, you usually have very good success. And by the way, guys, you get 2 ears, 1 mouth. Use your ears. Be a good listener, and you'll do amazing with probates. We're in the business of solving problems for people, and that's the key to it. So good question, Ryan. Okay, I keep the questions coming, and I'll answer them. Okay, Catherine says, super excited to see this. So cool that you are going to cover this. Guys, I've been doing probate since 2013, and I've lost count. It's just absolutely amazing. Our profit margins are insane on them. And why I like probate so much is they're always going to be here. This is not going to change. Some of the technology is going to change. We talk about pre-probates. Pre-probates before we did it on listrei.com, it was actually people combing the obituaries. But the problem with that is you're just getting a death record. So you have to cross-reference it to see if they own real property in your specific county. So the service through listrei.com that does the pre-probate, it's actually a pre-probate process. And guys, the advantage of it is you catch the properties that don't go through probate: trusts, summary administrations. A lot of people die with the house being their biggest asset, and it's just a husband and wife. And a big portion of them go through what they call a summary administration. So a big probate where they have so I believe in the state of Florida, I don't even know anymore. It used to be $500,000 or $600,000. I think it's up to $1 million now, as real estate values is. If it was below that threshold and the property is homesteaded, you can move it out of probate through what they call a homestead exemption through a summary administration. If they have a lot of stocks, they have bonds, they have a ton of cash, and they have a big piece of real estate, or maybe they own a portfolio of rentals, they have to do what they call a formal administration. And it's expensive. It takes a ton of time. It can take years to do. And so most states enacted something so they didn't kill like the small homeowner and wipe them out. So as I said, most summary administrations of this, usually a couple $1,000 and you can get it done. So awesome. Okay, guys. Go where? I don't know where that question's going, so you got to help me out there. So, oh, okay. Oh, so what we're referring to is you can go to the courthouse. So remember, you're paying it with your tax money. And I will tell you, during times like this with COVID and stuff, it's a little bit more challenging. But before, you used to go in, you could talk and basically butter them up and just kill people with kindness, and they want to help you out. You're a taxpayer. They basically work for us in your county, and you're a local citizen, so why wouldn't they help you out? So awesome. Chris asks, how willing are courthouse staffers to help with records, questions, etc.? Now, I will tell you, before this time, they're actually very, very helpful. I find if you go in with a great attitude and you're super nice with a smile on your face, you'll get a lot further with them. So every now and then you will meet people that don't want to help you. Don't let it discourage you. Just find a way to get through it. And by the way, you can go online on your computer and you can do your homework and you can pull up the statutes for probates in your given state. And then you can look them up county, and they actually have to spell out the entire process for you. So understanding if somebody enters in the probate process, 98% of people have to hire an attorney to do it. And the sweet spot for probates is to find a property where someone's passed away. Say one of the kids is taking care of the property and they want to sell it, but they don't want to go through the legal expense of a probate. So here's how you guys are going to deal with that. So Mr. Seller, I tell you what, if we can enter into an agreement, you decide to sell me the house, you know, whatever, just say $100,000. And you know there's opportunity, maybe it's worth 140, 150, and it's a fair deal and it just needs minimal fix up. Go, listen, I'll enter into that agreement with you. I already have a relationship with a probate attorney and I get better pricing than you. Are you willing to work with me and to sell me the house if I can go ahead and prepay the legal expenses? Here's the key word, prepay, okay? It doesn't mean you're paying for it. It just means if they enter into an agreement, a binding bona fide legal contract with you for a great price for you that works and both parties are happy, then what you can do is go to an attorney. So most attorneys I deal with, it's $2,000 to $3,000 to get it done. I usually give them $1,000 up front to cover the court cost and base, sometimes $1,500. And then upon completion of it, I'll give them the second half and I'll usually fund it at closing. So I'm an investor. So a lot of times I only pull $1,000 or $1,500 out of my pocket. And then what happens is the seller reimburses it at the closing on the HUD. So you're not actually even paying for it. Now, every now and then, if you get a super fantastic, great deal, then maybe you just go ahead and pay for the legal expenses. Don't make it an expectation, make it a bonus for them and just say, listen, Mr. Seller, you've been so wonderful to me and I feel horrible about this, what you've had to go through. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the legal expenses for you. And you will have people just bawling and crying for you. I've done it multiple times and that's a great tip I want you guys to use it. So awesome. Okay, let's see. I have my county's probate case list, and I'm wondering if there's anything to stray away from on a written letter. Anything to stray away from on the written letter? Honestly, there's two schools of thoughts. It's address the white elephant in the room up front, saying, listen, I understand a loved one's passed away, and you might be in the market to sell a house, but a lot of times I just focus on, listen, I'm interested in buying the property at 123 US Street. If you have an interest or a desire to sell this property and, you know, sell it as is, all cash, no hassle, I would love to talk to you. I specialize in buying these types of properties. And here's what I do. And by the way, if it's probate, I already work with a legal staff that we can guide you through the process. Please call me, make sure you have a call of action and make it simple. I've experimented with a larger font instead of a 12 set, a 14 font set, and it works very well. So simple letter. And then the key here, here's another like bonus tip. Sign the letter, put your name below it. So I put Rick Ginn in print, and then I sign it in blue felt ink. I'm telling you guys, the blue felt ink, it's unbelievable because it's so personal and you know it was somebody touched it by hand, and the older people really like that and it works out well. So remember, I just want to take one phone call, answer it, and then I know I can do the rest on it. So good question on that one. So awesome. Okay. Okay. Also, just call, and if they don't allow you to pull these records, then you can tell them you're a tax-paying citizen. Court papers are public records. So yeah, you can do that, but I'm just telling you guys, kindness always wins. You're never going to bully a court employee in doing what you want, especially in these crazy times. So just understanding everybody has a bad day, and you got to be you don't know what they're going through personally, what their boss is doing to them. So you can do that. If you really wanted to take that tactic, you can use the word FOIA. So you guys write this down. It's FOIA, F-O-I-A. And that's an acronym for the Freedom of Information Act. And what happens if somebody doesn't provide you a public legal document, you can request for a FOIA form, and they actually have to provide it to you, you fill it out, and if they don't comply, they get like a $10,000 fine per day. It's actually really bad. But the problem is a lot of these counties have all these privacy laws because, let's face it, a lot of us marketers have gotten so deep into people's information. Everybody's selling stuff. They're hammering these courthouses. So that's why it's got a lot tougher. But I would go with the kinder route. I think you'll get further with it. But if you have to pull out the big guns, just go to FOIA. And they're like, oh my gosh, this guy knows what he's talking about. So, okay, good question. Someone asked, pre-probates will still have the original homeowner name on the list who just died. And do you think cold calling might be the right strategy? Yeah. I think I answered that one before. So, so the key is you got to get out of your head like the cold calling. So cold calling sounds ice cold. It's like terrible. So we coined a phrase. Actually, Zach coined this phrase. For the longest time, I did not cold call on probates because I just thought it was like ambulance chasing. But as times changed, people got more aggressive. I changed my attitude towards it. So I said, Zach, as long as we warm call. He's like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, just be nice when you call them. Like, just kill them with kindness and listen to their problems. So I am never, so here's an example of warm calling versus a cold caller. When you get in the phone calls, like, okay, if I offered you all cash and close quickly, what's the best price you can do? You can't use words like that. Like it sounds ice cold. So listen, I was just calling about some information on this property. I thought I saw somewhere it might be for sale. And just like, well, where'd you get that information? To go, actually, my partner drove by and said it looked like it might be a vacant house. I thought it might be for sale. Can you tell me a little bit about the property? And that's how you start a warm call, and you just listen. And here's the key on a warm call. Do not try to close them in one phone call. The average probate from the time you get an incoming lead or you call out is at least 6 touches. You're never taking it down in one. It's so rare. It's happened, but you're not going to get a very good deal. In that 6 contacts, you're listening more than you're talking, and it allows you to gather all the data for you to formulate an offer that works and feels like you care for them. And that's why me and Zach are so good at probates. We're humans. We solve problems. Yes, I want to buy the property at a major discount. I don't scream it out on my marketing, and I don't scream it out when I talk to them on the phone. So, okay, good questions. Keep them coming here. Thanks, Owen. Let's see here. I'm going to answer every one, so put them on there. Daniel asked, how old is too old to call on a probate list before it's chewed up? I was pulling a list every month, but now switch to every week. So I'm going to give you guys a terminology, which is kind of ironic for this saying, is speed kills in probate. And what do I mean by that? Whoever makes the first contact usually has the best shot at getting it. That's just how it works. So when I started, I thought I was going to be so brilliant. And I pulled a 6-month list, Daniel. Can you imagine a 6-month list? I go, well, shoot, there's like 300 people on the list, average 50, 60 a month. And I ripped through it. Dude, I got jack. Nothing. I actually got my ass chewed out the whole time. So what I did is I started going to the courthouse like you did weekly. I started monthly, then I went to bi-weekly, then I went to weekly, and then at one point I was going twice a week. And it made a tremendous difference because I was the first one to get to it. Now, using that strategy and the pre-probate strategy through listrei.com, you've got some tools. So understanding the more dated the information is, the harder it's going to be for you, because this is just how the game plays. Remember, not only are you competing with other real estate investors, you're competing with real estate agents too. And a lot of times I find the agents are more aggressive than the real estate investors. So that's a good tip. So speed kills, Daniel. So the faster you are, the better it is. And here's everyone's like, oh, Rick, it's so tough to go to a courthouse. It's so difficult. And then people are like, oh, online, it's so easy. Well, if it's easy, everybody has access to it. If it's hard, you have a huge upper hand. And guys, the point I want you to understand is on probates is most people start out, they'll watch a video or they'll take a course, they get so excited about it. and they put out their 50, 60 letters. I go, man, I got 0 calls or I got 1 calls. This stuff doesn't work. I quit. You're 95% of what the people do. You have to commit. If you're going to do probates, I need you to commit to 12 months or don't do it because you're going to quit. Everybody keeps quitting, and then new guys and gals keep coming in, and it's like a forever. Whoever sticks it out the longest, remember, it's what, $500-600 a year to market for it for your county. Stick it out. It's not how many phone calls you get, it's how many properties you close in a 12-month period. And guys, I'm telling you this, one property will change your life. I was so skeptical of probates when I first did them, and I did one and I made $40,000 off the bat, and I really did no work for it, and I was in shock. Now, I'll be honest with you, it took me about 93 days to do my first deal. And every now and then we go through a 2 or 3 month process. Like, we don't get a lot. I just make sure we're still sticking to our marketing plan. Did the data change? Who's pulling the data? And it's usually an internal problem in our company. But is it harder with probates? Yeah, everything else is challenging. But consistently doing it. If you only spent $500 on marketing and you earned $40,000 and you could go and do your regular job and do it, would you still do it? You absolutely would. Guys, I do direct mail. I do cold calling. We do texting. And you guys know the trend with texting and cold calling, it's getting more and more challenging. As these disruptive marketing patterns, the game's going to change with them. So make probates part of your marketing, and I'm telling you, you'll be rewarded hugely. But you guys got to get out of this instant gratification thing. It doesn't work that way with probates. But if I told you you had to wait 6 months to make 40 grand, would you do it? That's what I do with probates. And that's what I'm telling you. If you're so addicted to flipping houses and you've got to send out, 2,000 texts and get a deal right away, still do that. But add probates to it, because if one comes down the pipeline, just one deal, and you make 40 grand, you'll be sitting, you'll thank me over it, and you'll never stop doing it, because that's why I do it. So consistency rules. That's what you got to do. So Justin asked, if you pull the probate list from PropStream, how do you skip trace the numbers to the family members? So guys, the easy way to do is just simplify this. A lot of your skip tracing can be done for free. These are pretty small lists depending on the size of the list. So when you do any type of batch skip tracing, you can go to, I got to pull it up here. Let me get it. You can do, first of all, before you get into this, you can use White Pages, People Finder. You can get a Spokio account. It's $10 a month. Or you can just do simple Google searches to get the information. That's how you do the 10, 20, or 30 of them. You can find people that you can partner up with. The average data points to pull for batch skip tracing, which means you do usually 100 or more, is around 15 to 20 cents. If you guys do big numbers, you can get it down to 10 or 12 cents, but there's no point in doing that. So I would first do a manual search if you're on a budget. That's how I did in the beginning. Guys, do not overlook social media. My God, most people have a Facebook or an Instagram account. So don't forget look at it, because remember, you're looking for the errors a lot of time, not so much the deceased person, because a lot of older people don't have social media accounts. Let me take a look and see if I can help you out here with it. If you want to do some of the, you can use batch leads for skip tracing. Just use code ZAC, and you get a 50% discount. But you got to have some numbers in bulk to make that work. But individual ones, use the good old internet. Spokio, White Pages, People Finder. I think there's a few more. I'm missing them, but you kind of guys get the drift of that one. So. Guys, I hope you're getting value with everything we're doing here. That's an awesome one. Keep the questions coming. We are talking about probates, and I'm answering questions. I've been doing these things since 2013, and it's my favorite form of marketing. You know why? Because they're so dang profitable. Clive's got a question here. I've got a house with a guy died a year and a half ago and has tried all the best skip tracing companies so far without any luck. Can you recommend somebody one better? Yeah, you ready for this? Here's the best skip trace company you're ever going to find in the world. It's the neighbors. Okay, knock to the neighbors, the left, the right. across the street and behind them and collect data. Obviously, at some point, somebody knew the family that lived there and utilized that data. I can tell you how many times we overlook this stuff. It sounds simple, but a lot of times the answers are right at your fingertips. So go talk to the neighbors. Just say, listen, I had to get some information on this house. They usually sing like a canary for you. So if I'm trying to find data, I'm going to find out as much as humanly possible. So Clive, go to the neighbors all around and dig. Look for any telltale signs around the house, any type of stickers. A lot of times you can reverse engineer. If there's a gas company, you can call on behalf of that property. I've done everything from utilities. Be your own investigator. Don't completely rely on skip traces, although it's convenient, but sometimes it doesn't always work out. So be your own investigator and work with the neighbors. So awesome question. Really good. So Eduardo asked, but I only have 1 month to get at least one deal. So I don't know your personal situation, Eduardo, but probates is a good start because it's cheap. But as I said, it does take some time. So there is so much information right here. You go to flip with what he'd have to do to get a deal right now, instantly. You're going to have to be aggressive about it and just go through the videos. It will share everything. So I taught my son at age 17. He did 3 deals in, I think, 92 days and made 100 grand. So he had no experience, nothing. I just taught him like how to go through it. And obviously here we are 4 years later and he's running with it. So there's no reason you can't do it, Eduardo. Then you can add probates to the mix. So I'd be trying to work with another investor. I would be doing probably a lot of door knocking. I'd get hyper aggressive because I like the attitude of, if you set your mind to it and say, I have to get a deal, you'd be surprised how hard you'll push to do it. But you got to have the right tools to do it. So just don't forget about probates when you get it going. But go back through here. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of videos. Just soak in the videos. Because guys, I know for a fact, me and Zach are the only person on the internet offering this stuff for completely free. Everybody else wants to charge you for it. We're in a new age, guys. Everything's available at your fingertips. Our job is to help you get your first deal, get under contract. And what I want you to do, if you really like what we're doing, here's what I need you to do. I need you just to listen. I need you to subscribe, first of all. Everybody, if you're new, haven't subscribed. And if you don't do that, just do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, smash the like button, share this feed with someone you think would benefit from it. And that's how you pay me and Zach back, because I know we are ostracized by all gurus. Guys, I've been doing this 18 years. There's nothing new these gurus aren't teaching you. And everybody thinks gurus have been brilliant over the last 6 or 7 years. They're great people, but this information's been around a long time. You don't need to pay a $5,000 or $10,000 price tag to get the information anymore. So what's in it for me and Zach? The more people we can help, the more we can grow our community and more amazing things we can do. I'm telling you right now, I'm not here to sell you a course. I don't have one. So just answering these questions, this is truly a mastermind and it's absolutely free. So go ahead and utilize the information. Okay, I'm going through order here. Guys, we got about another 15 minutes and let's go. We'll start speeding them up here. Bill asks, Rick, are you marketing to the PR right? What's your first contact? You send a letter and then the call. So the PR just stands for personal representative. So ideally I do. In the old days, I used to send it to all the heirs. I found out to kind of be a huge waste. And I will tell you statistically, if there's 4 or more heirs, the odds of you getting a good real estate investment deal on a probate property, they go way down. You know why? Because I've tracked the numbers. When there's 1 or 2, you have a high probability. When there's 1, it's much higher. So just keep that in mind. My first contact is as soon as possible. It's a full 1-page letter. I send it out and I mail it. One of the backups you can do a lot of times in our counties, like some of the information is missing. So if there's a lot of errors or like the PRs like some strange name or it's blank, you can make it out to the estate of John Doe and mail it to that physical address. I promise you someone will pick up the mail, and that works really well too. Sometimes when we do, if I'm going to hit 5 or 6 counties, it's just cheaper, like just to put to the estate of John Doe than to go through every personal PR and the heirs. So I find that the one for because someone's always in charge of picking up the mail at the house, and it's probably the most open letter we get. And by the way, if you can hand address the envelopes, it works. You can still do a printed one. Just a hand addressed in blue ink will get you a little bit more openings on the mail, but somebody always answers them. So do you send a letter and then call? So what we do is send a letter, and usually what we'll do is we'll send a letter and we wait at least 2 weeks after to make a phone call. And then we'll do another phone call depending on the rotation. And we constantly play around with it. So what works for me might be a little bit different from you. Remember, we're from all over the country. So I'm in South Florida. So it's the place where everybody comes to retire. But that looks like it might be changing. But, I don't know. So, but I like doing the letter, follow up phone calls. And then if I have to do a letter, I would send one like every 30 days. And then I give it up to 6 to 9 months, and then they're off the list. There's only then I'm just going to be cold calling and texting at that point. So awesome question, Bill. Okay. All right. Now we got some good questions here. So Clive, tried that. It didn't work. So Clive, just get creative. Did you reverse engineer the utility companies? You can kind of call and go, listen, I need to get the power on this house. I can tell you I've done it with a water company with success, and just kind of tricked them in giving me the owner's information. But sometimes you cannot find everybody, Clive. Like sometimes it is, but just try to exhaust every resource you can. One of the most obnoxious things I've done, if somebody's mowing the lawn and it's being cared for, somebody's paying them to mow the lawn. So you just got to find the day the guy mows the lawn and do it. If you want to get obnoxious about it, really find it, stick 4 sale signs in the yard, and you'll be surprised who's taking care of that property will come out and talk to you. So keep trying, man. This is the reason we're entrepreneurs, because we question everything and we attack. So Nicholas, how do I successfully do a short sale in Maryland through probate? The PR already assigned. Reverse mortgage in place, was advised to do this by the title company. So I have done this exact thing. I will tell you, reverse mortgages suck. They're a pain in the ass because they don't leave a lot of equity in them. But what's going on in this current market? So a reverse mortgage, they usually have 1 year before any type of foreclosure process or starts on it, because the bank wants the fees to accrue on it, especially the rolling interest. So the problem with this in today's current market is the question is the property going to qualify for a short sale? And so say the property is worth $300,000 and they owe $400,000, then you just have to go through the short sale process. What I like to do is find a professional short sale negotiator, because they're such a pain in the butt. Now, sometimes you can work with certain title companies. Short sales are so far and few between. There's very few people that actually do them and specialize them in them anymore. So in the old days, we would assign a short sale negotiator and give them a cut of the action, anywhere from 10 to 20% of the deal. It was going up to like 25% when it was getting on. But a reverse mortgage they're much more difficult, because the bank usually racks the fees up on it. But you need to find someone that will help you navigate through the short sale process. And I don't advise you learn it now. It's too late in the game. There's somebody out there we've used in the past. I think actually Zach had her on the podcast. So just if you want to search Wholesaling Houses for Real and Flip with Rick, I believe it was the short sale queen. I don't know what her fees are. You can find out. But the idea is you put it forward. You do the paperwork. If it hits, great. If it doesn't, you move on with your life and you don't spend any money or energy on it. So, but guys, you can do short sales on a deceased person. but the debt has to exceed the current value of the house for it to even slightly qualify. If it's even close, it won't work. But Nick, you can do it. You just got to find someone to help you out. Don't spend your energy on that one. So good one. Okay, let's see here. Eduardo, I know I'll get that deal because I don't know where I'll be if I don't. Amazing work you're doing here with Zach. So listen, if a 17-year-old kid can do it, there's no difference. You just got to go out and talk to people. Guys, real estate is about connecting with people and solving problems. It actually has very little to do with the physical asset. Real estate is just a symptom of people's problems. So death, divorce, getting too large of a loan, stuff like that, is all symptomatic of what happens in people's lives. You're just there to solve it. It's no difference when people buy a car, they buy a boat. People make mistakes, and we're here to rectify it, help them out, and make a profit and make everybody feel good. So Eduardo, I would go through and dig through as much as you can on the information. I would start with Zach's Bags to Riches. So Zach used to be a bag boy at a grocery store, and he showed how to work out of that, and he did it all within 92 days. And so he interviews very successful people, and they share stories of what works for them. And the really cool thing is it's absolutely free, and they share stuff that's working today in this market. So go ahead and utilize that information. I think it'll help you out a lot. All right, Catherine said, I've been telling everyone about you guys. I'm very new to me, and my partner are learning from you guys. Thanks so much. So the really cool thing about me and Zach is we are truly family run, and I'm authentic. I don't have a sales pitch for you. I don't have a quick product to make a buck off you. Have I sold products over the past? I have. I licensed them out to other people, and they're still out there in the market, and people still take advantage of them today, and they're absolutely amazing. I never charge like huge mentoring fees, and I don't have a boat for you to jump on. Guys, I do very well, and I'm down here in South Florida. I'm very accessible. I'm probably the largest wholesaler in South Florida. I've watched all these guys come and go. I do real estate. I flip houses for a living. I find so many people, they get these coaching courses and they go with it, and before I know it, they're a full-time coach and they stop doing real estate investing, and that doesn't help you because they're teaching you old, outdated stuff. I've learned so many tricks, and what I've did is I've accumulated them, and I've taught Zach, and I've taught people, and I just really love this. So they're like, I have all these gurus saying, why are you guys doing this for free? Guys, I know if I'm pissing people off, I'm doing something right. So Catherine, do me a favor. Just share this video. Tell them to go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, and we're trying to make a movement here. We want to really grow this thing, have fun with it. There's nothing more important than family to me than I'm probably with you. So if you help grow us, our community, that's what pays back me and Zach. Everyone's like, oh, you're going to hit us over the head with a course. I'm not. To be honest with you, I don't. I actually enjoy taking an hour, spending time with you. It's manageable. I enjoy it. And I can't wait till all this crap lifts off, because I just want to go out and I haven't been to a live event in so long, but I don't have anything to sell you guys. I'm going to give you practical information to get your first deal. And we have these incredible technology tools, and I want to be one of the first ones to say, listen, there's no barriers to entry. Let's go. So just like if you want to pick up a sport, a soccer ball, a basketball, let's pick up a pen, let's do wholesaling together, and let's make this work, and let's create the biggest, baddest community out there. So I really appreciate it. Guys, the more you can share this information, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That's how you can pay us back. So family's everything to me, guys. So I hope that shows. So, okay, guys, we're wrapping up the questions. Our story says, love the content. I appreciate it. Keep tuning in. We post something every day. Being authentic and genuine is the key to this business. So I've been doing this 18 years. And guys, here's the secret. If you're struggling right now, I want you to listen to me. Everybody has to start somewhere, and I remember it. Zach started, he just says, Rick, I'm just going to do exactly what you said. I said, Zach, and we took baby steps and we did it. And that's where he's running multiple businesses. He does very well. Even though he's educated, I've told him, we do not just depend on the education system anymore. It's up to you guys to take control of your financial life, because guys, money does solve a lot of problems. I'm going to be honest with you. But why I always did wholesaling was to get more freedom of time. And that allowed me to spend time with my son. And he picked up the business with me. I also have a daughter. She's studying to go into the medical field. She's going to graduate school. I'm really proud of her. And I'm able to spend all the time. And I have an amazing relationship. I'm coming up on 25 years with my wife. So I hope this comes out to you guys. And just make sure, and I told anyone, I do deals. We do deals. We show you all the deals we do. We worked on 2 more deals today. I just closed like one of my biggest deals, and we're going to go through the numbers on you that one. So I'm happy. I show HUDs. This is what we do. I love it. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. These are great comments, Clive. You and your son are the dogs, blocks. We are really appreciative. And guys, I appreciate you guys. So guys, the key is here is comment, subscribe, share. Let's build like a kick-ass community, and let's not let a little thing like money get in the way with us. Because if I get a big enough community, it's payment enough for me, man. Because the more people I can help out, the more I get fulfilled. So, okay, guys, I'm wrapping it up here. Clive is a professional hands-on flipper in Clearwater. That's a crazy market over there. And he put his number up there. So anybody wants to connect with Clyde, go over to our Wholesaling Houses for Real and Flip with Rick Facebook groups. Guys, if you're just tuning in now and you want to learn more about Flip with Rick, myself, you want to learn about Zach, we have an entire YouTube channel which is dedicated. We post more live, more free content than any other wholesaling group out there. And here's a really cool thing is, he ain't going to charge you. It's absolutely free. And I love it, man. Like I'm getting flack from people and I enjoy it because I know we're doing something right. Guys, let's get you your first deal and let's have fun with it. Guys, you're just connecting with people. Let's not overthink this. Awesome. Okay. Rick, you are amazing. We appreciate it. Awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Look us up on Google. Guys, whatever positive comments you can get, let's share with this. I'm going to wrap it up with, let's see here. You guys know what to do. Man, I tell you what, it's so I don't have like the studio I normally do, so I kind of did this on the fly in a new office I've been working on. So guys, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, put in your comments, and share this video with you think somebody that will benefit from it. Visit us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You know how to connect with us. We answer all emails, all comments, everything. Guys, we're the real deal. We're authentic. This is what we do. I've been doing this 18 years. I've taught my son how to do it, and he's an amazing person, and I am grateful for my family and spending time with each and every one of you. And my goal is to have an impact and get you to your first deal without spending $10,000 on a guru. It's definitely doable and achievable. I love you guys all, and I will see you in the next live. See you guys. Thanks.